You know how mind control works? It's language. Just language. Language is what's being used to control everything, all of us. Because everything the mind knows, the brain, everything that it's taught, it was taught with language. What it perceives, what it takes in through the senses, it's then deciphered with whatever language it uses, whatever language it was taught. If you're taught language, you're taught meanings by others. Those are from outside sources. That's controlling. It's controlling how the brain processes things and comes to understanding of what it's perceiving. Have to realize that all of our languages were used against us to teach us things incorrectly, to teach concepts that were not true, to teach concepts that were true. There's so many layers and levels to this language thing, because it's not just the words. It's the perception and the feeling of the word itself and what it creates within the mind. It's how the mind logically and creatively associates its perceptions and puts them to words. I got to thinking about that just because I was about to just start swearing and just have a video full of beeped out stuff, maybe. What I was going to say, I really gained a really deep appreciation for language itself when I really started to look at it and break it down. The etymology of the words themselves. And the letters themselves and what the letters represent. How it all relates. In so many ways. But yeah, since I gained that appreciation, I've really stopped the cursing because of its effect and the profound effect of language. But sometimes I just start swearing, like fall back to just to express the depth of like how I used to talk back in that fake life I used to live when I was a poor, lost, disconnected soul. I'm not looking for pity, and I don't mean it like that. It was just, it's ridiculous just considering the shadow of my former self. Just the empty shell that I was, that I grew up being. I didn't even realize it at the time. I didn't realize how empty that existence was, because I was so full of toxins. But yeah, that's because of that. Because what the fuck? What the fuck? How could this have gone on so long? I see how all this has happened, though. They just present things. Things are presented to folk and said, hey, this is good for you, take it. Or, hey, we're going to do this to help you. And just, yeah. And it's just the opposite. With all the, say, the fluoride in the water, the vaccines, all those toxins and all these things, you know, all these chemicals that are called medicines that are, nope, they're not. They're to harm you. We were just taught otherwise. And then when we come to realize that we were lied to, because that information is freely available too, that shows that these were all lies. Can't get through to folk and let them know that these things are lies and these things we've been taught. It's bullshit, because they can't accept it. They can't accept that they've been lied to on such a scale, on so many things, because that's what it turns into. It turns into almost everything. So folks shut off, won't accept truth. That's what I've noticed, the disconnect growing in folks that refuse to accept truth when it's available. When they come across it, they've come to hear it. And once they hear it, you're responsible now because you've heard it and it resonated in there and you caught it. Your consciousness caught it. Doesn't matter if you fully realized yet or not. But that's what's causing the disconnect to grow, because folk don't want to go inside and admit to themselves that they've been lied about absolutely everything, almost. And they've been made to be toxic, and they've been programmed to be immoral, and they've been programmed to act like animals instead of men and women. Because that's the truth. It was all on purpose, turns out. I don't know why or who or, whatever for sure, of course. How can I? Because we've been lied to about everything. History and all that. It's bullshit. What we're taught to think about right and wrong is bullshit. We're taught to think that sometimes it's right to just slaughter other life. Why? Well, I don't know. Just look at the mass slaughter of all the animals just for folk to ravenously consume. Why? Because it was taught. Is that right? Nope. Because who was born here? Who was born here to be used by another? None of us. Whether we're animals or men and women, really. When you really get deep into it and look at it from a point of inside, and that interconnectedness of life within oneself, and knowing in oneself how it feels to feel pain and to be harmed, and then especially to realize how much one has caused the suffering and harm of others when it was only because of beliefs. It hurts. That hurts inside. A lot of folk don't want to accept that, but that's what's causing that disconnect to grow, because it's a disconnect with life itself and within one's own nature of one's own life. Because it's the nature of life itself. It's nature and life can be synonymous for us as conscious, sentient beings, because we inhabit a body that is life, so we can experience this in whatever form it comes in. We've just been taught to all divide up and go against each other. Why? Because someone else said so. Because when we were born, we got here and they said, well, here's all your labels. You're this, that, and the other. Here's your certificate that says we own you, and that's just how it is. Because here's a whole bunch of toxins that'll keep you cut off while we teach you all this bullshit. Then turn you loose into a world where you're not taught at all whatsoever how to be self-sufficient or know yourself whatsoever inside, and just be trapped with your consciousness on the outside with its twisted, inverted perception of reality, and act like an animal and take what you can get from the other animals, is how it's taught, and that's backwards, inverted bullshit. That's what's causing all the issues. So then you get folk picking their costume, picking their side in life, and getting on the chessboard and fucking going at it. Why? Because money. Why? Because belief. Why? Because whatever. No good reason, I assure you. Only bad reasons. In the guise of good reasons. Created by others. Why can't we all stop this? We all have that ability within ourselves to stop all the harm being perpetuated right now. Wherever we are, we all have that ability in whatever position we're in to go, oh, we're producing something that's toxic, something that's hurting folk. I'm not going to be a part of that and produce that product anymore. Oh, we're installing things that are harmful, these technologies that are irradiating everyone and making things worse exponentially and affecting this, that, and the other in the atmosphere, and we're doing this and that that's so drastically harmful to life. Oh, I'm not going to be a part of that anymore. Oh, I'm here fighting these folk because of this label, because of this reason, because of someone said so somewhere, but this, how am I protecting not me, but my family? How is this protecting my family by attacking these folk? Oh, I'm going to stop this. Because it's all for other reasons. No good reasons, just bad reasons in the guise of good reasons created by others. Why? Because, I don't know. Because, fuck you, you got to pay to live here. And here's your label, and here's your path to go chase after whatever title you're going to try and chase after to attach to your fake ass name. So you have this fake ass title with little tiny fake ass degrees of understanding of reality. and then stay trapped there forever for your whole life and then until you die. But pass on the same bullshit that was taught to all the others beneath you best you can. Like, get that out there to keep this mind control rolling, right? Keep these systems running. Not this shit. So how do we fix it? How do we fix it when we live in idiocracy? How do we fix it when they make fun of us right in our face with the programming that shows us, hey, yeah, this is here's a look at a dystopian future. You better hope not rise. And we'll just make fun. It'd be funny, but it's just to make you not realize that that's exactly what you live in right now. We're making fun of you. Like in Idiocracy, it shows the layers of language sorcery, and it makes fun of it in the legal system with their whole different slew of terminology and language they use against you, and coerce you into using it against yourself to play in their little games, so you can be imprisoned, so you can be put away to be used further by the system to perpetuate itself. And that's just one piece. They make fun of the healthcare system as well and how jacked up that is with its allopathic, petrochemical based supposed medicine that's toxins, that's chemicals that mask one symptom to cause another illness that'll keep you coming back until you die. Because it's not natural, homeopathic, plant-based medicine like, I don't know, medicine always used to be, it seems. Well, that is, I don't know. Who knows with the fake history, right? That's all bullshit. But that's the point. It is all bullshit. And it is the natural plant-based way of doing things medicinally and nutritionally to balance one's body and get right. Why you think there's so much spray? Why you think they're trying to defoliate everything? Why you think now I'll put in firewood into my fireplace? And it sparks. It sparks because of all the aluminum and all the metal particulates that are sprayed in the air that gets all into the plants and the trees that we should supposed to be consuming, but that they're toxifying on purpose in the guise of this, that, and the other. And it's ridiculous. I feel just like that guy a bit, except, detach my consciousness from my soul and my body anymore like that, like I used to when I lived in that scattered, fractured consciousness of my first 39 years of life, now 3 years later. But just to put an analogy to it, I do, in a way, it's kind of like being that guy in that movie, being experimented on in the military without, realizing fully what was going on, what kind of shit I was being pumped full of. And then waking up from it, so to speak, afterwards and seeing reality for what it really was or what it had become while I was gone off somewhere for 21 years and saw it for what it really was. And then try to tell the world itself, like, hey, what happened and how to fix itself, and then to be looked at like, hey, why are you talking like a f***? Because the things I know now to be true are true. And it's that simple, because I know it and I feel it, because I've done the work inside to get through it, to get through to myself, for myself to get through to me, for my soul to awaken, whatever. And I continue to do it. But with that, and in the research and looking at reality and getting to really look deep into the deceptions and see the synchronistic way everything flows together, whether it's a truth or a deception, you see the intermingling of the two everywhere, and it's clear as day once it becomes clear. And once one can get over the fear and accept that hard pill to swallow, so to speak, though I would never swallow any of those pills anymore. Those pills that used to keep me so disconnected. That helped, along with the rest of my lifestyle. That comes with it, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. What if I'd have known sooner? What if I'd have figured things out sooner? What would I have done different? Well, it turns out everything would have been different, but that's gone now. It's the past. And now is when you have to move forward. Or at least that's a point I got to a few years ago. But it was only with the deep, deep acceptance and reconciliation of all that past stuff, and then looking at it and looking into it and researching it for what it really was, to figure out what it really was, to be able to fully move forward with that acceptance of, well, I was tricked horribly. Now, how to try and get through to what seems like the vast majority, to let them know that they can realize those same things, and we can all put a stop to all of this in a non-destructive way. We really can. With some empathy and wisdom and care, we can all just simply stop causing harm. We can all stop that by simply ceasing our action in whatever harmful behavior we're a part of. That's simple right in a moment. But how do we get through to everyone? I don't know. Like I said, it's only been a few years for me, though. I don't know how some have done it for so long, trying to get through day after day after day. My hat's off to you, so to speak. I salute you. And too bad. Too bad I didn't come across some of you folks sooner in my life that were putting out some... It's just we're putting out the truth. Simple as that. That we're putting out the truth. I was too hypnotized by the TV and by my own self-absorbed, fractured, depressed, suicidal psyche to even notice that I had been tricked on almost everything and what I thought about reality. But that was 3 years ago. And that's why it is indeed like having a past life in the current life I'm in. That is like a past life. Because for the last 3 years, life has been, it's gone from night to day for 3 years. And I'm not tricked anymore, and I'm not fooled, and I don't fool myself. Because during this last 3 years, I've really delved into that path of the fool that I was on. From a spiritual reconnaissance sort of standpoint, with my military background, in that path that I took, of reconnaissance, to recognize and look at paths and find my own path. I did that inside. In the spiritual realm, so to speak. The energetic realm, so to speak. Within. To really know myself. That's where you grow from. That's where life becomes your own, with your own soul that you can build from a base of truth, of finding it and knowing it and feeling it. For yourself, in yourself. By yourself. It's only you that can do it for you. And then once you get it, then pass that to others quickly, because things are bad. Things are bad, and they should not be. The lies and the deceptions just need to be stopped. They need to be stopped being perpetuated. I hope something can come together out of this little bit I've said out here. I don't know. See how it comes out anyway. Thanks for listening.